guys, it's Kristen, and today we're talking about the new Netflix original movie, When We First Met, starring Adam Devine, Alexandra Daddario, Shelley Hennig, Robbie Amell, and King Batch. Just a warning, as with most of my videos, there are spoilers in this one, so if you've already watched the movie or you just don't care about spoilers, keep watching. But if you do care about spoilers, you've been warned. When We First Met is about a guy named Noah, played by Adam Devine, who meets a girl named Avery, played by Alexandra Daddario, at a 2014 Halloween party. They have a great night together, they really bond, they have a really strong connection, but when Noah goes to, make a move, he gets friend-zoned. Now it's 3 years later and he's at Avery's engagement party to her fiance, Ethan, played by Robbie Amell, and he just feels like he missed out on his dream girl. He doesn't understand how, over the past 3 years, he never found a way to, get out of the friend zone, and now she's marrying somebody else, and he's really upset about it. Through a drunken turn of events, he learns that the local jazz club's photo booth is actually a time machine, and he ends up using it to go back and try to fix whatever went wrong back at that Halloween party when he first met Avery. And he definitely tries a lot. He changes himself each time he goes back to try to figure out a new way to get her to be his girl. He goes from his lovable goofball self to a fuckboy, to a workaholic, to an accidental stalker. And I think Adam Devine does a really great job here of, really tapping into all of these different personas, and he really had a Jack Black-esque type of comedy in this film. When We First Met actually reminds me of a few different movies. I would say it's kind of a cross between Groundhog's Day meets Back to the Future meets 12th Night. I know that sounds like a weird combo, but I'll get into that. But I do want to mention that they did play Back in Time from Back to the Future in one of the scenes, and it was like gold. I was so excited because I love that movie. Typically with Groundhog's Day-esque movies like Groundhog's Day or Before I Fall or Happy Death Day, you have the person reliving the same day over and over and over and over again, and they can't get out of it until whatever they need to achieve is achieved. With that kind of Back to the Future time traveling aspect thrown into it, we kind of got a little bit of a different scenario where we actually saw Noah reliving 2 days over and over again. The 2014 day when he first met Avery, and then the next day when he's back into the future and is trying to decide if this is the future that he wants. And so he's actually choosing to travel back in time each time. It's not like something that's forced on him. In addition to the time traveling aspect, I would say this movie had a Back to the Future vibe as well because it was so formulaic. There was some things that just kept happening in different ways over and over again. For instance, there was a conversation that Noah had in the car with Avery's best friend Carrie, played by Shelley Hennig, where he said that, basically he's in love with Avery. And they actually redo that scene in the future with Ethan and Noah, and Ethan's the one saying how much he loves Avery. So they did things like that where they repeated certain scenes to show their impact. But as the story goes on, no matter what Noah does, even when he thinks he has ended up with Avery, they're never meant to be. Avery and Ethan are always like these magnets flying back to each other, and I thought it was really interesting how this movie kind of tackled fate and how people come into your lives for specific reasons. Knowing that all these characters are playing a specific part, that they are there for a reason, that there's some kind of fate involved. I was trying to figure out what is this plot twist, and I have to say I didn't really see it coming. I do think there was a little bit of an issue here in that we were so focused on Noah trying to get out of the friend zone that we didn't really get to learn that much about the other characters outside of how they relate to him getting out of the friend zone. So spoiler alert, when it turns out that Noah is actually really supposed to get to know Carrie, Avery's best friend, I was kind of surprised. That also brings us to why I thought this film kind of had a 12th Night vibe to it. It's sort of like a case of mistaken identity. You see, every time Noah traveled back in time to try to win Avery's heart, he started having different conversations with Carrie. Sometimes they fought and hated each other, sometimes they were sort of friends, but at the end of the film it turns out that most of the things that Noah liked about Avery were actually Carrie's influence. All of the things from her Halloween costume, which was initially what enticed him, to her favorite music, that was all Carrie. So it kind of turned out that the girl that he liked all along was really Carrie, but he didn't know it because he thought, you know, it was Avery. It was kind of like a mistaken identity situation. With this new situation, I like how they didn't automatically make it like, oh, he picked the wrong girl, now he found the right one, they're in love, like blah blah blah. It was more like it opened a window of opportunity for Noah when they returned to the present day engagement party to be like, you know what? This is the person that I have connected with the whole time. I just didn't realize it. And I want to get to know them more. And I have to say, I think the biggest and most satisfying takeaway from this movie for me was that breaking of the friend zone mold. It was definitely a huge part of the movie, and to see that twist at the end where he realizes, you know, I care about her as a friend, I should just be there and be her good friend, was a really sweet, you know, genuine moment and feeling. At first I was rooting for Noah and I wanted him to figure out what went wrong with Avery and, you know, see if there was an opportunity there, but as it went on it was just like so clear that like they're just meant to be friends. The idea of being friend zoned is not a real thing. You know, I think that's just someone feeling kind of bitter or upset that someone doesn't have the same feelings for them. Someone didn't see you in a romantic way but still wanted you in their life and wanted to, you know, be your friend. I think when Noah finally realizes like this is not a romantic relationship, that they are really truly just meant to be best friends, that's when the story really comes together. Seeing him just genuinely like hug her and be her friend is so cool. And then he follows through with it. You know, he does true friend things like bringing Avery and Ethan together. And that's why Avery's speaking directly to Noah at the engagement party, saying that, you know, when they first met was one of the greatest days of her life. I feel like as Noah time traveled so many times and, you know, got to know Carrie and Avery in different ways, he really grew up and really learned this message of true friendship, which I really thought was great. Overall, I really liked this movie. I thought that, you know, it wasn't perfect, but it was goofy and fun, and I think it's a great movie to watch for Valentine's Day, whether you're in a relationship or not. I know it took a while to get there, but the message of friendship in this film was just really strong. If you like movies about time travel and friendship and kind of goofy rom-coms, I think you'll like this one. I would love to know you guys' thoughts on When We First Met, especially that friend zone twist, so make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and click that subscribe button because I come out with new videos every week. See ya!